Well, hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. I've been standing up there on the balcony and I've been enjoying everything. That's a great spot right up there on the top. You know what? It's interesting when Hilelo was talking about women, and I was reminiscing about my mom when I saw Madama Butterfly. My mother was Japanese, and my father was Italian. And so the Verdi and the Italian uh, music, it was very, very moving, let me say, and that gave me an appreciation for the richness that both my parents gave to me in music. My father played the guitar, and my mother played some music too, but she would never say that she was a musician. A very strong woman, very caring and sweet woman too. So I'd like to dedicate all of my music tonight to her, Setsuko Miyazaki Benedetti. I'll begin with a piece, an original piece by me. It's an original piece by me. This is entitled Granadinas. I forgot who the composer was. Whoa. Okay, get it together. Thank you. Now I know you saw the advertisement was guitarist. I did bring my ukulele, so I'm gonna play one more guitar piece, but I'm gonna play something on the ukulele as well today. Next piece, very, very popular piece for the guitar, written by a Cuban composer, Ernesto Lecuvona. And most pianists will know this name because he composed that very famous Malagueña that you hear on the piano, a magnificent piece. Much more reduced on the guitar, but got to remember that the guitar is what inspired all of that. And this piece coming from the city of Malaga in southern Spain. Malagueña is from Malaga. And it's worth it that I'm tuning here, folks. But I will tell a little joke about what's really common, especially with the nylon string guitar, is that it doesn't stay in tune really easily. And it shifts a lot, especially when you're outside. So one of our distant cousins, the lute, it was said that in the Renaissance, there was about 13 to 14 strings on that instrument, which is reasonable. But by the time of the High Baroque period, it had at least 50 to 60 strings. An arch lute or a tiorbo had that many strings. And it basically, it got so technologically advanced that it put itself out of existence. And I'll tell you why. Because you know what they used? They didn't use nylon, which was invented by DuPont in 1940. It was gut. Now, it's not cat gut. Everyone always says, oh, poor cats. No, sheep gut. So there was an industry for it, and there were gut strings. So if you think about 50 gut strings, which, you know, with humidity and the air can change quite a bit. Well, it was said that a lutenist spent 80% of their time tuning. I know that's kind of funny, but get this, 20% they spent playing an out-of-tune instrument. Now, I was supposed to be tuning my guitar while I was doing that. That's what that joke is for, to give me time to do it, but we'll keep it at that. Malagueña by Ernesto Lecuona. Thank you so much. Thank you. And let's take that little ukulele out next. I grew up in Hawaii. I think I mentioned that. My dad was in the Navy. We were stationed in Pearl Harbor. And it was a great community for my mom because there was such a large Japanese community there. So it was easier for her to get ready to be, to come to America. And then eventually we made our home here in San Diego. But my first instrument, my actual first stringed instrument, was the ukulele. And you might be noticing how I'm pronouncing it because when I was in Pearl Harbor Kai, that's the school that I went to in Halimoku, Mrs. Sakai, I remember her very fondly. And she took out these ukuleles and she said, and we were all going, "Oh, great! This is what we're gonna get to play this." And she goes, "You know what this is?" And we said, "Yeah, yeah, it's a ukulele. It's a uke." And she goes, "No. Where do we live? We live in Hawaii." Yes, we live in Hawaii, and you're going to learn how to pronounce this before I even let you touch these instruments. So we were taught how to pronounce it properly in Hawaiian. So, and I noticed there's audience participation here. So I thought, okay, uku, uku. Oh, that's better. Okay, lele. Yeah, ukulele. Always say that when you see an ukulele somewhere around. People will turn their heads and go, "What's wrong with you?" But it is an ukulele, which literally means an uku is a flea. It's like a louse. It's a flea. So the name of it really is jumping flea. That's what it is. So let's take that jumping flea out. Ouch. It's a big reverb. That's actually mine. Sorry, that's not Patrick. So, I like the Beatles. And there is a ukulele player, Jake Shimabukuro, who has turned and there's many others now too, but very much influenced by his playing. He started playing the ukulele in a style that was more like the flamenco guitarists and guitar players. When we first learned how to play ukulele, it was with your thumb. I gotta see if I remember. There it is. Because it's a real nice and gentle sound. And then Jake starts doing these raschiatos, these strumming patterns and everything. So once my students came to me and they said, Fred, we know that you're a Beatles fan. And I said, yes, of course I am. And they said, have you ever heard While My Guitar Gently Weeps by Jake Shimabukuro? And at the time, no. I said, no, I'd never heard it. What's going on? And they said, well, just go on YouTube and listen to his version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And I pulled it up, and at first you see over 1 million hits. Okay, it's popular. Turned it on, I went, whoa, that is some impressive musicianship and also a great arrangement of the tune. And so I'm going to play a version slightly like that. I put a couple of my own things in there too, but here it is, While My Ukulele Gently Weeps. Thank you, Hillel, for inviting me to play here. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you. For me, wow.